But damn, it's not just that you won the title, you got up from the kind of shot that guys don't get up from, and then knocked your man down and changed the course of the fight in that same round. Take me through that.
It's crazy, man. It was my first time being dropped, too. I was dropped in the third round. I got up. I think that Mexican warrior in me, you know, it just, I think Anthony Joshua was saying that it was like a God, it was a punch from the gods, you know. But, you know, it was all that hard work, dedication that I've been doing since I was 6 years old. You know, I think fighting a top lead and me, I don't know, it brings out the best of me.
Well, let me say this. First of all, thank you for being on the show. Secondly, when Molly's talking about people underestimating you, that would be me. Let me be very, very clear. Of course. You came in as an 11-1 underdog. You shocked the world. Your skills are big time. I got to admit it. You got fast hands. You can box. You can take a punch. You got a lot of heart. I got on you about your physique a little bit, but that was all I was saying. I certainly wasn't questioning your skills or your 33-1 record with 22 KOs, for crying out loud, and you had never been dropped. My issue is this. Boxing. We talked about Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. It was a mega fight. People question, all right, this is tantamount to Tyson upsetting Buster Douglas. My response to you and Max would be, what's wrong with me being disgusted, loving the sport of boxing, not knowing it like you, not knowing it like Max, but loving it? What's wrong with me going like this? Damn. Now I got to think about Ruiz going up against Anthony Joshua again, which is tantamount to Buster Douglas going against Evander Holyfield instead of Tyson going against Evander Holyfield at that particular moment in time that Buster Douglas went up against Holyfield. That's all I was trying to say. Your greatness that night and your skills as a boxer robbed us of a mega fight, which I don't think we get enough of in the sport of boxing today. To that you say what? Is there a problem with that?
There's no problem, man. You know, everyone's going to have their credits. Everyone's going to have their opinions, you know. And, of course, you had your own. And, you know, I just went out there on June 1st and I did my thing, something that I always wanted to accomplish. And, you know, thank God for my victory, you know. And December 7th, that's what I got to do again. I got to win the same fashion that I won on June 1st. And, you know, I got to prove a lot of people wrong again. So I think that's the hunger that I'm going to have in me. So I'm ready for December 7th.
And if you get through the rematch with a win, there's still Deontay Wilder out there, Tyson Fury out there. It's a great heavyweight division. But Molly started off by saying first Mexican heavyweight champ. And a lot of times a guy holds a belt, but there's the lineal champ, Tyson Fury, right? And I say, I follow the lineal champ. But in this case, Tyson Fury stepped away from the sport for like a year, and a consensus formed around Anthony Joshua as he's like, who's the champ, him or Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder? And so you knocked out that guy. I consider that like legit championship. How does it feel to be the first Mexican, which is a country, Mexican and a culture, Mexican and Mexican-American obsessed with boxing, heavyweight champion of the world?
It feels good, you know. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be the first Mexican heavyweight champion of the world. This is what me and my family have been dreaming about, my coaches, my whole team. So now
what does it mean to you?
It means a lot, you know. I mean, not just for me, but for all my people, you know. Not just for me, but for all my people. And, you know, it's just a big blessing, dude. Big blessing.
I got to admit, I tell you what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for a sensational performance, whether it's by you or Anthony Joshua, just to justify a mega fight. That's what I'm after in boxing, and I just want to know from both of y'all. I mean, I got to get on both of y'all about this. I mean, listen, not you so much, Andy, because listen, you got to go out there and perform. And again, you can really, really fight. You're gonna kick a lot of tail, ain't no doubt about that. I ain't taking anything away from you. But there's something to be said about a mega fight, and I think that a repeat performance by you could potentially give us that with you and Wilder. Max, Andy, do you feel that way? That the next fight has to be handled in similar, if not even more spectacular fashion in order for y'all to keep the attention that the heavyweight division had before you knocked out Anthony Joshua?
Of course, man. I got to win December 7th the same way. You know, I got all the 4 belts. All I'm missing is the WBC belt, and Wilder has it. So, you know, I don't want to look past Anthony Joshua. I don't want to underestimate him at all. So I think I just want to focus on him. get that win and maybe fight Wilder, Fury. So, well, whatever happens going to happen is going to be for a purpose.
I mean, Andy makes great fights, Stephen A., because he's the rare heavyweight that moves his hands in combination, which is at that division what I look for. Does a guy just not throw ones and 1-2s? Can he put 4, 5, 6 punches together and sustain that pace throughout a 12-round fight? We've seen that from Andy Ruiz, but even on the way up, you could see. I mean, Andy, I hope you know, he's a fat guy who can move his hands and fight, right? Like, there have been heavyweights. Muhammad Ali was the first fat heavyweight who could really fight during, in his second career. Sometimes he'd come in 225 and he'd look kind of sloppy and still have those skills. So, and throughout the 80s, Greg Page and these guys. But Andy, I want to talk about that for a second, because there are some guys who can do that, but are still better off when they're physically in better shape. Do you feel that applies to you? In other words, some guys are just, they carry the extra weight, it don't matter. But usually, if you don't see it, it means they're in better shape and they do better. How do you feel about that yourself?
You know what? For that fight in June 1st, I wanted to gain a little bit of weight. I wanted to be strong because Anthony Joshua, he's really big. I wanted to be strong. I wanted to have that power. So, but for this fight, I am going to slim down. I am going to get in way better shape. Plus, we have a longer training camp because of the first fight, we only had a month and a half. So this time we have more training camp and more time. So for sure, I'm going to be in better shape. I'm going to feel a lot better. And if I'm lighter, of course, I'm going to have more ability, more head movement, more speed. So I think that's the good plan.
Because on your way up, I watched you closely on the way up, real quick, Stephen A., and you didn't impress me as a power puncher. I thought, yeah, he's not a bad puncher, but really it's the volume, it's the skill, it's the speed. By the way, you're nimble with your feet, you're throwing those hands, you're moving your head. And then all of a sudden against Anthony Joshua, when he had you ready to go, you came out with Vladimir Klitschko couldn't stop him, who was a devastating puncher. But you did. Where did that power come from? Is that a permanent feature of your game?
Like Anthony Joshua said, it was the punch from the gods, the power of the gods, and all the hard work and dedication, being hungry, being motivated, wanting those belts, wanting to be the first Mexican heavyweight champion. And it came true, man. It came true, thanks to God. And, now I'm here now. Now I got to do it again, December 7th. So I think that's what I'm looking forward to.
Andy, there's people that look at that fight with you and Joshua, and they obviously recognize your skills. Hand speed, all of that stuff. We get it, and the power. Then you have others who look at Anthony Joshua, and there's two things that they've said about him. Number one, highly suspect jaw. This is what they're saying. Even though I think getting knocked down by Klitschko years ago, which is when Max was there acting like a little kid. I never seen Max more excited at a boxing match in my life. But when Klitschko dropped him, he got up and just stopped Klitschko. But then obviously fell down as numerous times against you. But I also saw an Anthony Joshua that actually looked gassed before you hurt him. I want to know, did you see that? Or was it just about your punch that took him out?
I think it was the left hook that I got him, He was trying to finish me off, and I think that punch that he dropped me, I didn't see the punch, and I was, how can I say this? I was standing wrong. So, but he got me with the clear punch. He got me with the good punch that set me down, but like I said, I wasn't super hurt because he hit me with the right hand when I got dropped. So I ate the punch and I stayed in the pocket. I stayed in the game, and then I got him with the clean left hook, and that's when the whole fight changed and it was on my side.
Andy, Anthony Joshua's a gold medalist, Deontay Wilder bronze medalist. They achieved at a very high level in the amateur game, and they're talented and big, but they started late, right? And what I saw when Joshua got up was a guy without a deep amateur background fighting you, a guy with a deep amateur background. So he was the athlete and he hurt you, but when you got up and you started exchanging, you had that amateur background muscle memory. Everything was to the target and your hands were just going, and his was not the same. What do you think about that? Is that an advantage you take in the ring? Tyson Fury, a few others also have that. Is that an advantage you take in the ring against a lot of heavyweights?
Of course I do, and me being fast and throwing a lot of combination, I think that's what helps me out a lot. And I think everyone underestimates me until they get in the ring, and then they see the ability that I have in there. And once they get punched, like Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until they get hit. That's exactly what happened.
All right, so you know what it is to be an underdog. You know what it is to be a champion. You know what it is to have all this nice ice. So help us with this. We are going to pick the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen A., season kicks off tonight, Thursday Night Football. Who you got this year? It's down in Miami. It's going to be crazy.
I'm not sleeping on my Steelers. Can't ignore New England, but I'm going to go with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and the crew. I think that they're going to advance to the Super Bowl, and I think it's going to be against Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints. I think that they will go undefeated on their home turf in New Orleans. I think that they'll go at least 500 on the road. I think New Orleans is going to win 12 games. I think they'll end up having home field advantage, and I don't think they're going to lose a game at the Mercedes-Benz Dome in the postseason this go-round. Drew Brees versus Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, but I reserve the right to change my mind once watching my Steelers.
Yeah, by the way, I don't think this is the smart guy pick, but from either one of us, because, usually the next season's not exactly like the last, but I'm not going to overthink this one. Patrick Mahomes and all the skills position players you just named, a year more experience. I thought they deserved to beat the Patriots last year when Tom Brady threw the interception to end the game and a pre-snap penalty cost the Chiefs. They'd have been in the Super Bowl. I think they would have won. I like the Chiefs to get there. And the Saints, we've all been kind of calling the Saints the last couple of years, but I think this is their year. They stopped the run. They obviously have an offense. I agree. I think Chiefs over Saints in the Super Bowl.
Both Chiefs Saints?
Yep.
Okay.
I know it's boring and probably not right, but
I didn't pick a winner. I'm just telling you who's going to beat it.
All right. And we know, pick your winner. Who's your winner, Stephen A.?
Drew Brees wins and retires.
Okay. Max?
Showtime? Patrick Mahomes is something different. They're going to win.
Ruiz?
I'll agree with Max.
You'll agree with Max. Smart.